All right. My name is Luke Kocan, and I'm glad that you came here today. Just so you know, for your informed consent, anything that you relate to me will be kept confidential. If you, the only reason I would ever break confidentiality would be if you spoke about harming yourself or harming another person. And so, do you have any questions about that?
No, not at the moment.
All right. Well, then we'll begin. So, why don't you tell me how was your day?
My day was good. I was asked to teach a class, and at my work, I train dogs for a living, and I was trained. Most of the training I do is always private lessons, where I work one-on-one with a dog and not with people. And today was to train people with their dogs, which was different. Um, and there was about 8 people there, so that was a challenge and something I've been building up to do. And it's just different, from just now you have to talk to people instead of dogs, and but it's the same thing. I'm just relaying what I know,
Hmm.
my stuff. So
Do you find it stressful at all in teaching a class?
uh, it wasn't stressful, but I found myself thinking too much because I have so much to say and I'm not sure how to present it.
Hmm.
I'm trying to inform these people how to do stuff, but I'm trying to also go down a certain pattern, a certain line, and not jump all over the place
Hmm.
and start talking about third grade stuff, and jump up to 10th grade stuff, and talk about senior college stuff, and back down to third grade stuff. So that was where it was hard to focus, and since I didn't do it, often or ever to people, so it didn't bother me. I thought it was very joyful. I know I could do it.
Hmm.
But it was different.
Do you, so this being the first time you ever taught a class, did you find it stressful having, I guess, parents with their dogs and everything like that? I guess more expectations placed on you?
I felt some stress because I'm not sure. I had different levels of people. Some were newer, and some were more advanced. So as I was talking, I'm talking about very basic stuff that I knew these people already knew.
Hmm.
But you still got to, you this is still the pattern that we like to teach people. You don't want to, like I say, skip from kindergarten to college. You
Hmm.
still stick with the basics. And but I could just tell by looking at the people and their dogs, they knew what they were doing already.
Hmm.
And but then I had some that were newer. That and so yeah, it was. I have high expectations of myself, so I wanted to do a good job.
Hmm.
But I also wanted to do some hands-on stuff. I wanted to go right over and work with somebody individual. But when you can't do that with one person and leave the other seven out.
Hmm.
So that was the other hard part. I'm usually um, hands-on with an animal and showing and correcting a problem. Now this time it was just talking about how to correct it, which was a little different.
So if I get this right, you're very much used to doing one-on-one with a dog and their
Yes.
owner. Okay, and then this is the first experience when it's multiple owners and
Yes.
multiple dogs. What about so do you feel comfortable working one-on-one with just one dog and one owner?
Well, I just when I teach a dog, it's one-on-one with just one dog. The owner is never there, so I
Okay.
don't have. I'm not teaching the owner. I'm teaching the dog. So this was different. Was I'm teaching teaching the owner how to train the dog. So instead of being one-on-one to the dog, I have to feed this information through the owner now, how to get to that dog.
And is that always easy?
I don't know. It looks easier when you watch it.
Okay.
That's all I can say. When I watch other people do it, but they've been doing it for years, so they naturally know how to go about to speak and be very comfortable and go about it. And I just want to be more involved when I see somebody having trouble, I want a person to go over there and get involved, but you can't.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to consider you got the whole class, and you can't be individual. You got to so.
What are some things you had to teach today? Was there any specific tricks or?
Well, we have 5 steps, and the 5 steps would be it's called first off you got to walk your dog, and it's called this way. So you train your dog to follow you, okay, on the leash. You got to tell people, make sure they know how to hold a leash. You can't hold it tightly. You got to make sure that people realize that when you reward a dog, you do it fast. Okay, when a dog listens, it does something that you want it to do, he's got to be rewarded within 3 to 5 seconds. If it's after 5 seconds, the dog does not relate to why he got that treat. You got to have treats with you. You've got to you can't get frustrated. Okay, because animals can feel that. And you got to be very patient. So first thing was how to walk the dog.
Mm-hmm.
How to walk. Then you make them sit, and then you make them go down. You got to make sure that the dog doesn't see the treat that's in your hand, because then they're focused on the treat. When you hold a treat in your hand, you always have it hidden underneath your thumb. You want them to smell the treat, but never see it, so that they don't have a visual thing. There's then I find myself saying a lot, in my head it's saying, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And because I have a speaker, I have a loudspeaker, and I have one of these headsets so it goes over the intercom as I'm walking around talking. So then you get a little bit conscious about how you speak, and conversing with other people, because they want you want to come across as knowledgeable and not a bunch of like your yinzer.
What? Well, I can see that. So wait, what were you more afraid of? I guess being perceived as by these other people.
I didn't want to be perceived as I wasn't smooth about it. I wanted to be very smooth and not choppy. I didn't want to be all over the board, because there's so many little things that are involved in training a dog, and I only have so much time to relay this, and you're trying to put 5 hours worth of talking into 20 minutes. What's the most important thing to get across? I'm not sure. Sometimes there's a lot of little things that are important. Like a dog's attention span is only, it's 15 minutes. You got to tell these people, after so long, you got to give the dog a break.
Mm-hmm.
A dog will not. It'll shut down on you. It's a person that thinks that if you take a dog out there and train it for 3 hours and doesn't know what it's going to do, it's not going to work. That dog, after 15 minutes, shuts down, and doesn't matter how hard you try. So what you do is then what we call, as I told these people, is like you've got to recharge your battery. So you let the dog play. So after training for 15 minutes, you got to just let them go. Just let them run, let them play, let them be free. That recharges his batteries. That gives him a new mindset. That clears his mind of all that stressful stuff, and then you can go back to training. You got to make sure that the dogs, you take them outside, they use the potty, and I got to make sure I was polite, nice, and potty, and not go outside and take a dump. So you got to, it's the etiquette about these people, because everyone is. You want to be, you want to sound intelligent. You don't want to get caught off guard like you're talking to your buddies.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I feel more comfortable just having fun with these people and joking with them, but I'm not there yet with them. I'm not that comfortable at that position. But
were you comfortable at your last, I guess, position with Fido? What's the big?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because working with a dog and not the owner is a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you work with a dog and with the owners, there's a saying there that we have at Misty Pines that it's easier to train a dog than an owner.
Okay.
dogs are easier to. They listen. They're easy to work with. Owners aren't. They're the hardest animals. It's a personal joke, and he has even signs up there. The hardest animal to train is a human being.
Okay.
And so training a human being to train their dog, people don't listen. They don't want to do properly. There's a lot of little things. The simple little thing would be how you hold the leash. If you hold the leash too tight, excuse me, you could actually send. The dog can feel nerves. It's actually understood that the dog can feel your nerves going through that leash, so it makes it nervous. So we strive what they call loose leash training, where that leash has to have a little loop in it. You don't want to be sending your attention through that dog. If you're holding that leash really tight, that dog knows that you're nervous, so it's nervous. So that's why everyone always wants a dog that can walk off a leash, because then that's the best dog there is. But these are, and there's a lot of little tricks about leash control. You can make a dog do a lot of things, kind of like riding a horse, where you pull the reins and you make the horse do everything. A leash can do the exact same thing. You can control that dog to do anything with a leash and never have to even say a word. So, but these are, all of a sudden, where do you go with this conversation with these new people? I can spend an hour on one little subject, but I got to cover, walking the dog, making them sit, making them stay, making them go down, making them go to a spot. We call it, when you have a bed, you want the dog to go to its place, how to make it go to its place, how to stand, such things as, and then people want to know how to get the dog to stop barking, stop jumping. We didn't even get into that part, where people start asking questions.
How often do you think owners take in the information that you give them, and actually are able to use it?
We get some people up here that are very consistent, and they'll come up every week with their dog for a 45-minute training session. We also have owners that will drop off their dog, and then that's the kind of people that I get, where they just drop off their dog and they'll say, just train my dog. Well, what happens is I train their dog is very well trained, but then the dog goes home and the owner doesn't know how to
do that. Okay.
Institute what I train the dog to do. And then they come back and they'll say, well, my dog's not listening to me. Well, it's because you don't know how to teach it. You don't know how to work with your dog. You're not, there's no connection between you and your dog. But we get that a lot, where people think they can just drop the dog off, and a dog is, they say 1 month is equal to 1 year in a person. So a 12-year-old dog, a 12-month-old dog is the same as a 12-year-old kid.
Okay.
So how mature is a 12-year-old kid?
Not very.
Not very mature. So a 12-month-old dog is still a child.
Okay.
So we feel like, after a dog is, 2.5 years old, then it becomes maturity. But until then, it's just nothing but a child. And a lot of people, they expect too much. And they'll bring their 10-month-old dog. My dog doesn't listen to me. Well, think about it. It's the same as a 10-year-old kid. Does a 10-year-old kid listen?
No, not often.
Some might.
Sometimes.
Yeah, some might. Depends if the parents are involved.
If
they're not involved, that kid is wild. He doesn't listen. If the parents are involved with their child, it's a very well-behaved child. So it becomes down to if the owners get involved with their dog, then the dog will mature and be a better dog altogether. So training people is hard.
A whole other game.
It's another, it's different. Training people is because we're all different. We all have different mindset. We all think we know it all, and everyone's think their dog is smarter than. And then you get with the different style dogs. The different style dogs are just the intelligence levels can vary from one to a lab is very good, a poodle is very good. Then you get a husky. A husky is it's a wild animal. It doesn't want to be controlled. It doesn't want to be trained. Then you get, I was working with Shiva for um, a doctor. She's a psychiatrist. I do believe she wants to make a therapy dog out of it. This dog is, it's just not a friendly dog. It's just, it's okay, but it's not the right dog to be a therapy dog. All dogs are different. Hunting dogs, they're very stubborn.
Mm.
Oh, we're not allowed to say stubborn. We say they're
Difficult.
difficult.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we don't say stubborn. Stubborn's not a lot of. We're not supposed to say stubborn. We say it's a difficult dog. So hunting dogs are very difficult dogs to train. Period, because their nose smells. They're driven by the scent. Or a bird. I was working with bird dogs, and if they hear a bird, their whole that's it. Their whole attention span is about that bird. Where's that bird? They want to find that bird. They don't care what you're saying, what you have. Because they're bred to hunt birds. This is in their genes. This is you can't change it. You can't make a bird dog. Uh, can you make it a pet? You can maybe, but it's kind of like taming a wild animal.
Interesting.
They're just it's in their genes. They're not meant to be like some animal that'll jump on the couch.
Okay. Well, I see that you have a lot of knowledge with dog training, but seems like we're running out of time. So, would you like to set up another appointment, maybe for the same time next week? What time is it? I guess 8 o'clock on next Tuesday.
That would be absolutely perfect.
All right. Well, it was nice seeing you, Dan, and I will see you then.
Okay. Thank you.